Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m., a voice spoke to me from inside the walls of my dead mother's house. It knew things about me that no living person should have known. And on the last night, after I had destroyed every speaker, every wire, every recorder I could find in that house, it spoke to me one more time, from a wall with nothing behind it. No wiring, no mechanism, nothing. I still don't have an explanation for that, and by the end of this video, you might not either. Here's what happened to me over 6 nights in that house. My name is Elias Ward. I restore old houses for a living. I take things that are broken, rotted, forgotten, and I make them whole again. It's quiet work, honest work. I like it because wood doesn't lie to you. A house doesn't pretend to be something it isn't. But the house my mother left me when she died, that house lied to me for 6 nights straight. And by the end, I wasn't sure if I was the one uncovering the lie, or the one who'd been living inside it my whole life. Let me start at the beginning. The house sat at the end of a gravel road, so far from any neighbor that the silence had a weight to it. Victorian, thick plaster walls. A basement workshop my father used to disappear into. An attic full of dust-covered furniture. I hadn't set foot in that place in almost 20 years. Not since I was a boy. Not since my father supposedly packed a bag one night and never came back. I told myself I'd stay just long enough to fix it up and sell it. First night, I unpacked my tools, checked the wiring, and went to sleep in my childhood bedroom, telling myself this was just a job like any other. Then, at exactly 2:17 in the morning, I heard a voice. It came from inside the wall beside my bed. Calm, almost gentle. "Elias, stop opening the wrong walls." I sat up so fast, my back hit the headboard. I told myself it was a draft, a pipe, a settling foundation, anything but what it sounded like, which was a voice that knew my name. I searched that room for an hour. Nothing. No speaker, no vent, no gap in the plaster, just silence and my own heartbeat. The next day I told myself it was a prank. Kids messing around maybe, or some old intercom system left over from decades ago. I checked the plumbing, I checked the wiring. Behind a cracked section of plaster, I found it. A tiny speaker, no bigger than a coin, tucked into the wall like a splinter. I almost laughed. A prank. That's all it was. Then came the second night. I'd cut the power to that whole section of the house. No electricity running anywhere near that wall. And still, at 2:17, the voice came back. The blue marble. I froze. When I was 6 years old, I lost a blue marble somewhere in this house. I hadn't thought about that marble in 28 years. Nobody alive knew about it. Nobody except... I didn't finish that thought. Not yet. The next morning, I tore open the heating vent in the hallway, and there it was. A small blue marble sitting in the dust like it had been waiting for me, not lost, placed. That's when I understood this wasn't a prank. Someone had planned this. Someone had planned this a long time ago. Night 3, the voice returned, softer than before. "You never lost it." 4 words. 4 words that cracked something open in my memory that I didn't know was sealed shut. Because if I never lost that marble, then what else did I get wrong? What else did I convince myself was true when it wasn't? I started asking questions in town the next day. An old neighbor, a woman who'd known my mother for years, mentioned something offhand that after my father left, my mother had renovated half the house. New walls, sealed rooms. At the time, everyone assumed it was grief. Now I wasn't so sure. That night, the voice didn't just speak. It guided me down to the basement, toward a section of wall that didn't match the rest. My hands were shaking as I ran my fingers along the seam. There was a door here. Someone had sealed a door. The next day, I broke through it. Behind it, a narrow maintenance corridor, thick with dust, lined with old tape reels, hand-drawn maps of the house, and a stack of leather journals. My mother's handwriting filled every page. One line stopped me cold. I couldn't let him remember. Remember what? Night 5, I sat in that corridor and played the tape reels one by one until I found the one meant for me. My mother's voice, aged and tired, filled the narrow space around me. "If you're hearing this, I'm already gone," she said. "Elias, your father never left us." The tape cut off there, abruptly, deliberately, it felt like she couldn't bring herself to say the rest yet, like she needed me to earn the truth one piece at a time. I didn't sleep that night. I kept staring at the wall, at the space where her voice had come from, waiting for it to finish the sentence it never finished 20 years ago. The next day, I found the last door. Behind a false wall in that same corridor was a small, sealed chamber. Inside, I found a skeleton, a wedding ring on one finger, his ring. Beside the remains, a broken hammer, and folded beneath it, a child's blanket, stained dark with something that had dried decades ago. I don't remember how long I stood there. I don't remember if I made a sound. That night, the 6th night, I played the final tape. My mother's voice, steadier now, as she'd rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her head. "Your father hurt me that night, like he'd hurt me before. You were just a boy. You picked up the hammer to protect me. He fell. He didn't get back up." She told me she panicked, that she couldn't watch her 6-year-old son be blamed for something he did to save her. So she hid him, hid the truth, behind walls she built with her own hands. And for 28 years, she rewrote my memory of that night, gently, patiently, until I believed my father had simply walked away and never looked back. She said she recorded these messages so that one day, if I ever came back to renovate this house, I would find the truth myself, piece by piece, wall by wall, instead of being handed something too heavy to carry all at once. When the tape ended, I did the only thing that made sense to me. I tore every speaker out of every wall in that house. I smashed every hidden recorder I could find. I told myself that once they were gone, the voice would be gone too. The house went silent, and then, from a wall I hadn't touched, a wall with no wiring, no speaker, nothing behind it but solid plaster and lath, I heard it one last time. "You finally remembered." One sentence, no mechanism, no explanation. I called the police the next morning. They recovered the remains. The investigation confirmed what the tapes had already told me, that my father died decades ago. During a moment of violence he started and didn't survive. No charges were filed. What my mother did was understood, if not entirely forgiven, as the panicked choice of a woman trying to protect her child from a truth she thought he couldn't bear. I left that house at sunrise. Before I locked the door for the last time, I reached into my pocket out of habit and felt something small and smooth against my fingers. The blue marble. I was certain, absolutely certain, I had left it beside the skeleton the night before. I looked back once at the house. Quiet, still, just an old house full of old wood and old walls. I didn't go back inside. And to this day, I still don't know if that marble found its way back to me on its own, or if something in that house wanted to make sure I'd never forget again.